What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's getting close to sunset and it's such a beautiful day. I actually have like very little wind. I'm getting like 0. So it's a perfect evening for a flight. Today I have the Bugs 2 Wi-Fi, or I guess you can call it the Bugs 2Y, and it comes in 2 colors. It comes in black, or this cherry red. This is one of the most beautiful looking quadcopter I have seen in a long time. Even though it kind of reminds me of the Hubsan H5 I'm forgetting the number. Excuse me, H501s. These numbers are killing me. It reminds me of the Hubsan h510s, but this is a good-looking quad in my opinion. It comes with it looks like a proprietary battery, but it's not. It's actually a XT30, and it has a balance plug, so you can actually charge this with a hobby grade charger, or you can use their charger. I suggest use a hobby grade charger to get the best balance charging. And it's a 2-cell 7.4 1800 milliamp 25C LiPo battery. and you can actually use the you can actually use the Bugs 3 battery. If you put a little foam in it, it will go right in there, and you can actually use their battery. But you can also order these separately on Amazon, and I'll leave the links in the description below where to get extra batteries for these. This is a neat little GPS quadcopter. It has a 1080p camera, and it has these quick release. I never seen these before. They kind of remind me of quick release 10-speed racing 10-speed locks. You just twist them off, and that's it. There's a little rubber washer underneath. You have to be careful not to lose these. Underneath the quick release nut, there's a little washer, but it's so easy to remove and tighten. These are self-tightening propellers, and it has a lot of features. It has GPS, has return to home, has headless mode, and it has safe features like if it runs really low on battery, your transmitter, which I should get, it's over here. Your transmitter will start to vibrate to let you know that you're running low on battery. There's actually telemetry in the transmitter itself. It will tell you how far away you are. It will tell you how high you are, and it will tell you how many satellites you have. And again, this is a very cheap quadcopter. This is a toy grade / hobby grade quadcopter with all these features, and at the same time, it has a Wi-Fi. The quadcopter itself creates a hotspot on your cell phone or tablet, so you can see first-person view. And supposedly it has great image and long distance. I find that hard to believe because Wi-Fi generally doesn't give you the greatest distance compared to 5.8 gigahertz. Wi-Fi usually tops out around 80 to 90 meters and it starts to freeze, but we'll see. They're claiming longer distance than that. The quadcopter itself, they're saying 1,000 meters. That's possible, but I don't, like I said, the Wi-Fi, I don't think it will last past 100 meters if you're lucky. I'm going to go over the transmitter real quick. This button right here is your to set it for idle, unlock the motors. This is your button to rise the quadcopter and also to land, so automatic takeoff and automatic landing. But you have to arm the motors when you do that. When you arm the motors, you can go automatic takeoff or automatic landing. This button right here, like I said before, this has a GPS. It has return to home. So if you panic or something and you lose orientation, you can hit this button. It will come back where it took off, as long as it has GPS. And this button right here is your manual button for pictures. Quick hit is photograph. A hole on the button is a video. And it takes four batteries. I think that's it. Let's get this tested. I'm gonna actually turn on the quadcopter. When you turn on the quadcopter, it always requires compass calibration every time, kind of like the Hubsan. So we're gonna turn on the transmitter first, and it's a little tricky with the wires right here. You got to make sure you don't pinch them. That's the only thing I don't like about this proprietary shell. I'm not favoring the fact that you have to tuck this in. But other than that, it should go in once you move it out of the way. I wish they gave you more room for your balance plug. Here you go. You just tuck it in like that, and it should go in like that. I hope I didn't time out with the transmitter because it's been waiting for me. We'll see. Alright, when you first get this quadcopter, it's not going to be bind. It needs to be synced. So you have to hold this red button down and turn on the transmitter at the same time. It would turn on, it would set the transmitter into a binding mode, and then it will beep, and then it will always bind to this transmitter. So when you first get it, like I said before, the transmitter is not bind to this quadcopter. You have to hold this red button down and turn it on, and it will bind. It looks like every MJX GPS quadcopter, you have to kind of do that so far. So right now, it's blinking, and it's asking for rotation of compass calibration. So what you got to do is, I don't know if you can see the lights blinking. You rotate it until it turns green, and then you go nose down. Okay, now it's green, so now we're going to go nose down like this until it turns yellow. And we're still turning and turning and turning and turning. I think it's pretty good. I think it should turn yellow, or it stops blinking. It actually stops blinking. That's what you have to do. Right here is where you have your SD card, and it doesn't come with an SD card, so I recommend getting a class 10 SD card. It doesn't matter what size. I think 8 or 16 gigabytes is all you really need. So that was the compass calibration. These are brushless motors too. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Besides it being a hybrid toy, it has brushless motors, which gives it a lot of power. And as you can see right now, this is your distance, which is 0, and your height. And I have 10 satellites as we speak. This is the battery of the transmitter and the battery of the quadcopter, which is fully charged. And right here is the off position of the GPS. You can turn on GPS on or off. If you click it to the B, it turns it on. This is your headless mode. This is on the off position. If you want headless mode, you put it on the B position. So right now I have GPS on and headless off. Alright. So I'm going to use my phone, and what you have to do is go on your settings and look for connections and Wi-Fi connections, and turn on your Wi-Fi on your phone, and look for anything that says bugs. So right now I see it says bugs. I don't know if you can see that. So you click bugs MJX, and I'm connecting to it. And now you also have to download the Bugs Go app, which is in the website mjxrc.net. They have it there, and they also have it in their instructions manual. There's these QR codes you can scan, and you can actually scan them on your phone. I'll go over that, how do you do that, in another video, or maybe I might even add it in this video. Alright, so I'm actually going to hit easy record screen to record my screen. Hopefully, does it work? I'm not sure if my easy record screen is working. For some reason that's not working. Oh, it is. Okay, good. Sorry about that. So I'm going to record my screen right now. So now I'm going to start recording my screen. So this is the Bugs Go app, and there's a clamp here that you can install. When you first get this quadcopter, this clamp is not on. It's pretty simple. It's like a 2-piece, and it's a ball joint here. You just put the ball joint in, and then you put the clamp on, and you slide this down on the antenna. And I'm not sure if the antenna is actually here or somewhere in the transmitter. I didn't open it up yet, but I'm assuming the antenna is laying across this way, but I haven't opened it up. So here's the app for it. So we'll hit go, and it should take us to, okay, good. So I can actually see, I'm actually hitting, this clamp right here is actually hitting my button. So let me just move that out of the way. Sorry about that. Okay. So here we go. So this is the actual FPV. You can see it's pretty good. There's not too much of a lag. There's a slight lag, but it looks pretty good. It looks really clear, actually. I'm impressed by how clear it is. And on on here you can see you can actually press to record, take pictures, and besides using this. So I'm gonna start recording. Actually, I'm gonna raise this up and see if I can take a picture. So let's go over there, take a picture over there. See if I can do that. I took a picture. So let's take a picture of the helipad. All right. So you can actually hear it making a clicking sound of a camera, which is pretty neat. So I'm going to hit record, and you can see it says TF, and it gives you how much time you've been recording on your TF card or your SD card. So I'm going to unlock the motors by pressing the red button. And that was a double press, actually. And it is so quiet. Look how quiet that is. I can barely hear it. It is smooth. Alright, so I'm going to do automatic takeoff. We have 16 GPS. That is a lot of GPS for a toy quad. Automatic takeoff. Wow. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to hover so evenly. Now, I have to say, there is no wind today. It's less than 5. Actually, I was reading like 1 to 0. So this is an easy test for the Bugs 2 here. But look how rock solid that is. Rock solid. Very impressive. It does have a barometer. So I'm going to raise this up a little bit. I'm going to raise it up a little bit. And I'm going to shut off the GPS, and it should float away with the direction of the wind. I'm not even sure where the wind is blowing because I don't feel any wind on me. So I'm shutting off the GPS, and it's moving very slowly this way. Barely. So I guess the breeze is coming this way. Yeah, I can actually feel it. So I'm going to turn on the GPS, and it should stop the moment I hit the GPS before I hit the trees. And boom. Look at that. It's coming back to where I hit the button. Nice. Very impressive. Alright, so I'm going to take it up over the pond and see how good the camera is. Oh, this bird is so smooth. Now again, this bird kind of reminds me of the Hubsan h501s. But it feels smooth. And that's the pond that I always fly over. I'm getting no lag. I'm getting good picture quality. I'm actually 67 meters up and 58 meters away from me. Distance. Look at that. Wow. And what I like about this quad, okay, so I'm getting a little bit of freeze, but not too much. At about 192 meters away, I'm getting a freeze, which is not so bad. I'm impressed. It's freezing up again. It's coming back. So around 200 meters, it was locking up. I would say 192.
That
So I'm in an open field here. It's still locking up, but it's fast. It is freaking fast. Oh my God. And I'm not giving it full throttle. Very impressed by speed. So I am recording. Yes, I am. Yes. Very fast toy quad. It's extremely light. It's another thing. I picked it up compared to my Hubsan, and I'll do a follow-up video of comparing this to the Hubsan. My app just crashed. Oh no, came back. I just got a beep. So it also beeps if you go out of range, and it also beeps when you're low on battery. So I might have just got a weird beep from. So I'm going to pause right there and let it hover there for a little bit. So I have FPV at 73 meters distance. I'm going to take a picture. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to hit the stop button. All right, record. It says record. I missed that. I think it said success. I'm not sure. Record it in success. I didn't see that. It was so fast, but it said something like that. I'm going to hit the camera button and take pictures. I'm going to test out the camera. Now people are saying that the camera on this is not as good as the Hubsan, but according to what I'm seeing in my phone over here, it looks great. It looks. I have FPV because I'm shaking this back and forth, and it's rocking. I'm not that far away. According to this, I'm about 73 meters away. So I'm gonna hit the record. Take another picture of the. I'm recording now, and I'm gonna take it out towards the pond slowly, so it won't rock. The only thing with this, it does not have a gimbal or image stabilization. So if you rock really heavy, it will show in the camera. It will show in your picture and your video. So I'm going nice and steady. I still got FPV. I'm 180, 190. I still got FPV. Holy cow, that is amazing. All right, I'm getting close to the expressway. I don't want to lose FPV over the expressway there, but I just did. So I'm gonna turn it around and I'm gonna head it towards me. And I'm not sure where I'm heading. So I'm gonna actually test. I'm going out in range a little bit, so I'm gonna hit return to home. Is it coming back to me? All right, so it is coming back to me. The numbers are getting lower and lower, so it's coming back. I can't see it. Here it is. I see it now. Wow, I went too far out and I lost FPV, and I was getting too close to the expressway there. So now I kind of panicked a little bit, and I hit return to home, and now it's coming back. So it's good to have return to home when you lose FPV. So I don't recommend going over 100 meters with this quadcopter, even though at times I was getting over 100 meters. I was getting 150, 190, but it was sporadic. But to keep it safe, keep it like around 100 meters, 120 meters. Don't go over 120 meters, definitely. So it's definitely coming down and I have my FPV back, and it's 60 meters up, and it's dropping. And let's see how close it is from the helipad. And I was out there. I was about 200 meters, 190 meters away. So I'm impressed how it flies, though. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi has limitations, so you have to keep this within line of sight. The Wi-Fi is good so you can take your shot, and if you're seeing something that you like, you can use your Wi-Fi to aim your camera. But I wouldn't use this for long distance FPV, because if you lose FPV, you won't know where you are. And I'm cutting grass. Okay, so there's the helipad, and there's the quadcopter. So we're talking about 1 meter from the H to where it landed. That's that's very acceptable. That's great. I mean, that's more than great. So I cut some grass here. Alright, so what I want to do next is do some speed runs with it. Right now, as you fly it, it's pretty fast for GPS. I have to say, it's really fast. But if you shut off the GPS, it should go even faster. So I'm going to hit record. I still got FPV. I'm going to shut off the GPS. Now I'm just floating away with the barometer, and it's keeping steady, but it cannot stay still because there's no GPS. It should go even faster. So this is sport mode. Wow, it is fast. Very fast. Let's take a look at that, how fast it is. Full throttle. Pretty fast. I mean, it's not a beast. It's not a racing quad, but I'm going to bring it down, do a punch out with no GPS. Let's see how fast it is with no GPS. Let's see how fast the punch out is. All right. 3, 2, 1, punch out. All right. It's respectable for what it is for a camera bird, and I still got FPV. So very fast. Not bad. Very fast for a camera bird, but again, it's not a racing quad. So you have to expect so you can have a little fun with it if you feel like racing around with it. I'm going to turn on the GPS. It should stop right there, and there she is. We're going to test headless mode next, but there's another thing you can do. You can also calibrate the gyros by holding. I'm gonna hit the buttons to stop record. By holding the joysticks like this and like that, it will start to blink, and it calibrates the gyros, which is pretty cool. So you hold your right stick diagonally to the bottom left, and the left stick diagonally to the bottom left, and when you do that, it will start to blink, and you can see it blinking. So you make sure you're in a level surface. This is pretty close to level. It's not 100%, but the grass here is pretty evenly cut, so it's pretty level. So we still have battery and 16 satellites. So I'm going to do an automatic. Actually, I'm not going to do an automatic takeoff. I already did that. I'm going to do a manual takeoff. So to do that, you just press the sticks inwards like that, and it will idle. The motor will idle, the props will idle, and it's so quiet, I can barely hear it. And just raise the stick gently, and I'm going to turn on GPS. Actually, no, that's shutting off GPS. I just turned on GPS. Okay. I'm just watching it. I'm moving it up a little bit away from me. let it hover for a second and see if there's any towable flush. There is none. It's very steady, so it's doing good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out a little bit. I'm going to turn on headless mode. Let me just take it out there for a little bit. And headless mode is on. I'm going to spin it and bring it back. And look at that. Nice. Right over my head. Nice. As I was spinning that, I'm going to go forward with it and spin it. So, very nice. All right. So, I'm getting a little bit of a LVC warning here. I have 2 bars. So, at 2 bars, it's letting me know that I'm getting down. That's the first LVC warning. So, I want to do another test. I want to do a fail-safe test. All right. I'm gonna pretend that I'm out of range. I'm going to shut off this quadcopter's transmitter and see what happens. It should go back to home. I'm on LVC too at the same time. So I'm shutting off the quadcopter, and you can see the transmitter is off. The quadcopter is actually standing still. It's rising up. It has a certain amount of distance, I think about 30 meters up. It went up around 30 meters. And transmitter is off. So this is simulating, I'm simulating that I have gone out of range. So now it's calculating where it took off. You can see the transmitter is off. There's no LCD, and it's coming down. I'm going to watch it and see how close it is with the transmitter off. So this is what's good about this quadcopter. As long as you have GPS, if you go out of range, it will come back to you. If you, I'm cutting grass again. If you lose FPV and for some reason you're hitting return to home and it's not listening to you, you can shut off the transmitter and it will come back to you. So as long as you have GPS, it will always come back to you. If you don't have GPS and you go out of range, you're in a lot of trouble. And what will happen is, if it's out of range and it does not have GPS, and it needs at least 7 GPS or more, it will go into a second stage of LVC, which is a critical state, and it will just slowly come down. It won't fall out of the sky. It will slowly come down, and if it's water, it will go into the ocean, or if it's on top of someone's property, or God forbid, a person. So you have to be really mindful, and like I said, I recommend to always keep this line of sight, because the FPV is not long range. It's really meant for taking your picture shots. So I do want to show you one more thing. I want to show you that even though these batteries are not quite proprietary, the shell is proprietary. You can actually use the MJX Bugs 3 battery. And let me just shut off my phone here for a second. And what you have to do is, because it's the same connector, it's the same exact connector. So what you have to do is, it's a little loose. So I have a little sticky here, like a foam sticky that I got from some hardware stores sell tapes of this. And I cut a little square. And it's like a self-sticking foam. Peel the backing of it and just stick a little square right there, and then you just put it in like so, and that foam will keep it nice and tight. And now it doesn't look cosmetically pleasing, but it's if you have extra batteries from the Bugs 3, and a lot of people do have the Bugs 3 battery, they have the quad because it's a very popular quad. So if you have that popular quad, the Bugs 3, this battery is compatible because the connection is the same. So all you do is, I'm going to turn on the transmitter first, and this is the XT30. Just make sure you put it in right. You can hear it. So I took it, and that's it. So now I have a Bugs 3 battery, and it's initializing the ESCs and waiting for another compass rotation. So I'm gonna turn the app, go to my connections, and go to Wi-Fi, which is on. Hit Wi-Fi, and this will work on Android or Apple. And if you anything that says I have a lot of Wi-Fi in this field. Wow, that could be a problem too with connection. You don't want too much Wi-Fi. I'm in the middle of a soccer field too. Hit bugs, anything that says bugs. So that I should connect, and then you turn on the app like so. Hit go, and there you go. So, and then just to unlock the motors, you just hit this red button. Right now I have, it's saying 0 GPS because I have to do compass rotation. So again, unfortunately, every time you take off, you have to do compass calibration. And now it turned green, so you go nose down until it stops blinking. When the green lights stop blinking, it should stop. I think it did. Did it stop? Oh, yes, it did. So we're good. So we'll bring it down steady. And let's do a gyro calibration by holding this down. That should blink. Is it blinking? Yes, it's blinking. Calibrating the gyros. And we have 16 satellites. It gets good satellites. And we have full battery on the transmitter and on the quadcopter using the Bugs 3 battery. You can see right there. So that's awesome. So I'm gonna and look how quiet that is. So this is my introduction and maiden flight in my experience of the Bugs 2, and in my opinion, it's really a good quad for its price. I mean, this is a lot cheaper than the Hubsan H510s. I mean, it doesn't have long-range FPV. The FPV on the Hubsan is longer because it's using 5.8, but you can actually probably maybe get a all-in-one FPV and glue it on top of the canopy over there, or underneath it, I should say, away from the props. You got to make sure it's away from the props. So I would say like over here. See, my finger is not being cut. So I would put an all-in-one FPV 5.8 right there, and that's how you can probably get a long-range FPV. But if you're just looking for a cheap GPS beginner quad to take some pictures and photos and not go too far with the FPV, this is a great quad. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace.